Howdy hero, Cozmo the Magician here with my video guide to the Autocast Numlock feature of Diablo 3. Yes indeed, this is a feature built into the game. It does not violate your terms of service. It's been used for many years by many players. So what exactly is the Numlock Autocast feature? Quite simply, it allows you to take any one of your 4 keyboard-bound skills and constantly autocast it. For example, my Witch Doctor here has the Hex skill with the Jinx rune, which means that when activated it will summon up a fetish that will turn our enemies into pigs, making them defenseless and able to take 15% more damage. And additionally, since I have the Spirit of Iraqi set 4-piece bonus, when Hex is cast it will bring up a Toad of Hugeness that gives us 50% damage reduction and heals us for 10% of our life. Very handy. So now of course if I press my 1 button, it brings up my fetish and our giant toad. And we can see down here that it does have a cooldown, which is slowly going away. There goes the toad, there goes the fetish. And now we're off cooldown so we can cast it again. Now of course I could in practice simply hold down my number 1 button, and as soon as the cooldown goes away, it will pop back up again. Now, of course, we don't want to sit here holding down a button while we're playing, so we're going to use the Autocast feature. Now, one thing to point out, the only way this works, of course, is you have to have a numeric keypad on your keyboard. If you have a slimline keyboard without a numeric keypad, this will not work for you. But assuming you do have a standard keyboard, let's show you how it works. First thing you need to do is bring up your options menu, come down to key bindings, scroll down to your action bar skills, and you'll see that you're allowed to bind 2 different keys to each skill. By default, everything goes to 1 through 4. I'm going to add the numeric keypad number 1 button to our first skill. So I'm going to select that and press 1. Now of course that shows me numpad 1, but now point out you must have numlock on, or it's not going to show up on numpad. I'm going to turn numlock off, select it again, press 1, and of course it's saying end instead of 1. So make sure if that happens, press numlock again and repress your button. Make sure you select apply and accept, and you're all set to go. Now very simply, to start the autocast process or to end the autocast process, you're going to press the number button that you bound to that particular skill, in this case the number 1 button, press it down and hold down the numlock key at the same time and let them both go. Like that. And now that skill is constantly being autocast. You'll actually hear a Witch Doctor tell us that it's not ready yet.
Needs
more time. So it goes on cooldown and it pops right back up. If you find that constantly hearing her say or him say,
need more time,
not ready yet, need more time, etc., especially if the skill you're key binding to the autocast has a really long cooldown, that can get annoying. There is a way to disable that. Hit options, come over here to sound, and you have your voice volume, which is the voice of any of the characters in the game talking, and we can just turn that completely off or just turn it down. Now of course we're not hearing her say it needs more time. You will see of course the skill is not ready. The red text appear. I'm not sure there's any way to get rid of that though. So that in a nutshell is how to use the Autocast Numlock feature. Now a couple of things to keep in mind. To make this more efficient, you want to have as much cooldown reduction on your skills as possible. Come over here to details. You will see cooldown reduction. Currently I have absolutely none. Of course, one of the easiest ways to get some cooldown reduction is to apply Paragon points. Like that. Let's say you don't have a lot of Paragon points, or you're using your Paragon that you currently have for other things. Of course, the other way to add cooldown is to come over here and talk to the Mystic, and we're going to enchant some of our items. Now, if you bring an item over to the Mystic, click on one of the existing affixes that it has, and for example, we'll see that I can replace critical hit chance with cooldown reduction between 5 and 8%. So we're going to go ahead and try and roll that. Let's see what happens. Oh, no luck. Well, again, no luck. Well, of course, as long as you have the resources available, you have enough Death's Breath and other things, you can just keep trying. I, of course, luckily happen to have three items actually, that will add some cooldown. And now you'll see that my cooldown reduction is up to 18%. And that's probably just about enough for it to constantly be up. Let's see. And there we go. So now that particular skill is constantly going to be up, except for one point to make. The autocast will only happen as long as it can be cast. If you're moving around like I am right now, notice it's not being autocast. If you're constantly spamming other skills, it's not going to autocast. So make sure you stop channeling any skills, stop moving for a second, and your autocast will happen all by itself. Just a quick reminder, there are many ways besides just re-rolling items at the Mystic for Paragon points to get cooldown reduction. There are legendary gems and items that will add cooldown reduction. There are different passes and other skills that will reduce your cooldown reduction. Of course, you can always Google cooldown reduction for Diablo and find interesting articles on how to add additional cooldown reduction. Well, thank you for watching this little informative video. I hope you learned something and becomes useful for you. Happy trails, happy adventuring.